What's up, everyone? Kyle here. I am super excited to share that my audiobook version of Travel Tips is up now. You can find it on Audible, Libro.fm, and anywhere else that you get your podcasts. Go check it out and buy a copy. It also has 30 minutes, a little over 30 minutes of bonus commentary that isn't in the actual book, so that's a little added bonus. But go check it out. I appreciate all the support, and I hope you guys enjoy the episode. All right, welcome everyone. This is Our Travel Experiences. I'm your host, Kyle Rasmussen, and today I have with me an amazing travel content creator and owner of a travel company, Pelumi. Pelumi, how are you today?
I'm very, very well. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited to talk with you. I know we've been trying to make this work here for a week or so, but glad we could finally make it
We
work.
did it. We did
Yeah.
it.
Um, so I think it would be best if we just started with kind of give a little bit of background of how you started traveling and how you've gone to so many countries at such a young age.
So, when it comes to traveling, I migrated from Nigeria. So, I was born in Lagos, Nigeria, moved to the UK when I was 10. I think that migration process was quite fundamental because it was very, very important. I left the familiar and I started kind of getting into the unknown. And that was quite scary, but exciting at the same time. And it was something interesting I wanted to explore. But I didn't follow this till after, I'll say, during uni years. So it took a few years, obviously, to develop the funds that travel comes with,
Hmm.
and every other thing in between. But I think the fundamental bit was when I did come to the UK, I faced a lot of bullying. So, you know, different accents, look different, all of that, factors. And I retreated to the library where I stumbled on travel books and new destination and new places. And yeah, I think that again drove my what's it called? Just kind of wonder. And I just wanted to kind of explore new places. So yeah, that's kind of like the background. Um in uni, I discovered there's a lot of opportunities to travel from like global leaders program to exchange programs at pretty affordable rates. And I have a lot of like privileges, for example, my passport privilege, the fact that I'm based in London, which is a global kind of like central point. So
Hmm.
traveling within Europe was very doable, very easy. So I've explored most of Europe, if not everything, except from Russia and Belarus. Um, and yeah, the wonder feet just kind of began. I was just like, oh, I could go to this place, I can go to that place, I can go to this place.
Yeah.
I never ended, Kyle. It never ended.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like London is a very good spot to be. You could get anywhere in the world pretty easily from there.
Yep,
Um,
I totally agree.
yeah, and Europe, like you said, is very accessible from there
Mm-hmm,
as well.
mm-hmm,
Uh,
mm-hmm,
what was that like? That experience of, you grew up in Nigeria, you were there for 10 years, and then you went
mm-hmm,
to UK, which,
mm-hmm.
totally different place. You're on a different continent. What was that experience like?
Well, I was blessed to come during summer, so it wasn't so much of a like temperature or like weather shock. It did cool off, which I was like, "Whoa, this is cold." So I think the move was different because I was so used to um, just the community kind of vibe that growing up in Lagos come with. You're very connected to your extended family and stuff. So I can call it. It was quite traumatic, to be honest. I call it an uprooting. So I was uprooted from my, which is like okay, calm down,
Mhm.
baby. So. Um, yeah, but I think, humans, I always say humans are so adaptable. And, with the right surrounding, with the right nurturing, with the right friendship forming, this place quickly became home. And that's a tough conversation, how do we define home and all of that. But yeah, I try to go back home to like Nigeria quite often, and it always feels very familiar. I think anywhere that's familiar and just welcomes you technically becomes your home. So yeah, I think this transition is tough for a young kid. Um, but hey, tough time make tough people, right?
Yeah, well, and it sounds like you were able to adapt and find opportunities out of that.
Exactly. And that's the perspective I've kind of like gone with, that, you know what, when challenges and travel come with challenges too, as I always tell people, they make for the best stories. So it's like just being optimistic and kind of seeing the best in every situation. So like when I'm faced with something, I'm just like, okay, what's this trying to teach me? What can I get from this? So yeah.
Yeah, so then you went to university and you said you found some opportunities through there. What opportunities did you take during that time in your life?
So I'm still kicking myself because I didn't find this early enough. I found this in my final year of uni. It was something called Global Leaders Program, which which is basically like it's not really a full-on exchange program, but they allow you to go to different places. So you can go to like India, Singapore, different places just to explore the culture. So my final year was like the last day of submission. Someone was just on the computer and I was like, what are you doing? And they're like, yeah, I'm applying for this thing and we can go to India for like $300, something like that. Like they pay technically for the flight, the accommodation, the food, and you just kind of just put this small token. And I was like, you're joking. Like India? Like, how am I on the computer applying to as well? So, and they're like, yeah, I went to Malaysia last year. I'm like, last year? Why didn't you tell me? This was an
Wow.
opportunity. I remember getting home and I was telling my mom, like, and a week later, obviously, I got the acceptance email. So after I then told my parents that, oh, FYI, I'm going to India. And I think I think that's the joy of, when I was in uni, I took on like, coaching, like teaching and stuff. So I had a bit of a savings. And there's a very difference between asking for permission and telling people you're going to do something. So with India, I was telling them, I was like, it wasn't a case of, oh, I need money to go to this place. It was like, going to India. and,
Uh-huh.
and my folks were like, India? Who do you know there? What? And I'm like, I don't know. I think it's the Taj Mahal. There's the stories I read when I was back in primary school, and I was just like, this was just a place I booked map, and for such an affordable price, I wasn't gonna make. I know that thing. Now I just grab opportunities. Like I don't care. I'm going. So
Mm.
yeah, so that was something. But I always tell college, if that's something, I always tell uni students, just take advantages. There's just so many things from extracurriculum activities to just kind of like, yeah, exchange program. I wish I did like a full year somewhere else or like an industry kind of work. I think sometimes we're such a rush to get through the uni process, but really taking every opportunity, going to the career place and just saying, hey, do you have any travel kind of like experiences and stuff? And you'll be surprised the opportunity that's available to you a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Yeah. So if you would have found that in your first year, how many
Oh,
trips have gone on?
I think probably all of them that they offer. I think they did do it like a yearly stuff, but they probably had other opportunities. This was just one that I was able to take advantage of. But like in hindsight, now that I've gone through like postgraduate education and all the rest, I'm just like, wow, there's so. I was spoken to other uni students, and they're like, yeah, I did an exchange program, or I did this supplementary program, or I went here for a couple of months, and I'm like, what? This stuff was there. So yeah, I think in hindsight, it's just like, but hey, I was able to go to the one, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah. How did taking advantage of that and going to India, how did that kind of shape your love for travel moving forward?
Oh, it changed it. I think that was kind of like I said, I was very, very I became quite comfortable we travel within Europe, for example. So
Mhm.
like, but that was far and it was foreign and it was different and it was exciting and scary. And it was just a case of the fact that it just affirmed that belief that if I decide that I wanted to do something and I went for it, um, anything was achievable. And I think that's the joy of travel. It doesn't just influence the travel sphere, like your travel habits, it kind of extrapolates to the rest of your life. So I'm just like, wow, what other opportunity am I missing out on in life that I could be more proactive about? What other things, am I waiting for permission from other people? And how can I be more active about it? Just the same way I reached out to you for this podcast.
Mhm.
It's like, hey, sometimes you just got to create the opportunity. I think sometimes we wait for opportunity to
Mhm.
come to us, and we just need to be out there creating it in a way.
Yeah.
If you don't ask, you don't get. So really, that trip just affirmed a lot of things in terms of, get rich because I need to make money because travel is expensive.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, many lessons, many lessons. It was a very definitely a defining moment in terms of, you know, if no matter if parental consents are great, but sometimes you just gotta go for it. Like you like something, you want to do something, it excites you. Just do it. Just do it,
Mhm.
because you don't want the if, should, could. I'm just thinking if I just maybe was hesitant and I was asking for permission first, how that might change things. Yeah, I think it's just, yeah, it just taught me to just go for stuff that I cared about and I wanted to do.
Yeah, yeah. I would guess if you hesitated taking that trip to India and ended up not doing it, would your life be a lot different?
I think I would have gotten there in the end. It might have just been a longer route, or like, um it might just have been, I think I will still be who I am today. But I think I would have maybe be more timid, or you know a bit more hesitant of things. I think it
Mhm.
just pushed that aspect of me out, that adventurer, that go-getter. um, so yeah, I don't think I would not be the same person. I think I might maybe a slightly different version. But that's life. We always make small decisions that actually affect us in more ways than we think. And it's a bit crazy. You're thinking of everything, should I have tea or coffee today? How much will this change my life? you know, you don't want to get into that. into that. But yeah, I won't say like, I won't be who I am today, but I think it might just have been a different version. Or like, it might have just taken me a little bit longer to be where I am right now. I think that
Mhm.
trip kind of accelerated it a little bit, that adventure, that excitement, that newness. So yeah, I think that's kind of how I'll put it.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. Yeah, if I feel like if you have a passion, you're eventually going to get there, no matter what you
Mm-hmm.
do.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so, how it looks like you've been to 77 countries by age 27. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So 28, I went to one more this year to um oh my God, Maldives, the Maldives. I went there
Okay.
earlier this year. This year I've not really done new countries. I've been like a repeat offender, going to old places and stuff like that. And I've been sitting my butt down a little bit because I had to build my travel company. I'm like, okay, it's good to sit down for a bit. But I am planning to explore some Middle East country later in the year because I'm based half in London, half in Dubai right now. So I'm just
Okay.
like, make advantage of that and explore the Middle East and countries around there. But yeah, 78 countries at the age of 28. I'm 28 now.
Wow.
Um, it's been exciting.
Yeah. Are you staying for a long time in each place, or just a few days, or does it kind of vary depending on why you're there?
It depends on why I'm there. It really depends. I've gone to places for like a weekender, like a lot of Europe countries. I was there for a weekend, but like I said, I'm a repeat offender, so I can go for, if you add it all up, it could add up to like, 2 weeks for the amount of
Mhm.
time I've gone back again and again. I've been to countries where I've stayed just one place for 2 weeks. I've done a month in some countries. I've stayed in 3 months in some countries. So it really, 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 really varies. I was at one point trying to be the youngest black female to visit every single country in the world. But pandemic puts a wrench in that. So now I'm just enjoying the moment and the freedom that um post pandemic hindsight, you're like, damn, like it really was taking for us for 2 years. We couldn't go anywhere. So now I'm just appreciating every trip, old or new country. I'm just ecstatic to be there, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. I think the pandemic really puts into perspective that, life is short, and so if you want to do something, you got to go do it.
Honestly, like you just gotta go for it. Like we always say we have time, or we say life is short. But I think pandemic really allowed us to see how short life was. Like you're just like,
Mhm.
they, you know. So when you lose people in in that tragic moment, it's just like this person had visions and goals and dreams, and they're gone now. So yeah, it really, 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 really put things in perspective. I was just like, okay, I gotta do things that make me excited about life, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So then how did you start your travel company?
So I was always exploring, and I use social media to kind of document um my travels. And I got people saying, "Oh my God, I would love to travel with you. I would love to travel with you. I would love to explore with you." Just because I think the way I travel, I'm very cultural immersive. I love the hotspot. I love the Instagrammable spots, but I try to, get on the beaten part, and really just explore, new places, especially from a local's point of view. So I try to make
Mhm.
friends before I get there, like social media or whatever, or just, get someone that lives there already, to take me around and stuff. Um, so people really like that, the storytelling and all of that. I wanted to explore. Yeah, people, especially post pandemic, everybody has that itch to just go and explore. And then I found that there was a part of the travel industry that wasn't catered to, which was group of friends. So you hear it right now. And I will at one point be the advocate of that. So I'm not judging anyone. You hear it right now. Ditch your friend, travel the world. If you wait for your friends, you will never get to see the world. And as much as that messaging is somewhat true, because I have been able to travel the world with my friends, but there are just some occasion that you do need to travel with your friends, your family, your tribe, the people you love the most, the people you want to create new memories with. So celebration or trip, bachelorette, graduation, reunion. You cannot go with a bunch of strangers to these places.
Yeah.
Um, or celebrating that way. So I started creating or curating trips, not for strangers. So it's not like, bring a bunch of strangers together and travel together. And there's again nothing wrong with that. But instead, bringing a group of people that know each other, that love each other already, and just want to create new memories over like a celebratory trip. So we've done like from proposal trip to reunion trip. Next, in a few months' time, we got a group of friends going to Bali, and just celebrating their friendship. So just things like that. Because again, you know, these people are the people that matter to us. We do life with them daily. So why don't we travel with them? So yeah, just
Mhm.
solving that problem within the travel space whereby people want to go with their friends, but they feel like it's never going to make it out of the WhatsApp group. It's hard to plan. We say, bring your
Yeah.
tribe and we take care of everything. So, yeah, that's what Oremi Travel is about, which is Yoruba, where I'm coming from, my native language, which means my friend. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And honestly, until you, just said, that you're catering to, groups of people,
Hmm.
I didn't realize, but yeah, that is a part of the travel industry that isn't really catered to.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I have a friend who's at a bachelor party right now, and
Hmm.
like the coordination that went behind trying to get all of those guys together who are coming from different areas of the country, like it is
Mhm.
chaos. So to have someone like you to be there and lead them, that's huge.
Exactly, exactly. So we take all the worrying, all the planning, all the logistics, all the headaches, all the money, and we sort every single thing. Just tell us where you like to go, what your budget is. That's it. We sort out everything. You just come, have fun, and have beautiful memories with the people you care about.
Yeah, I gotta imagine for the people that travel with you, that's gotta be so nice just being able to spend time with their friends and family and just enjoy the trip, not have to worry about
Exactly.
anything.
Exactly.
What's been some of your favorite places that you've traveled to personally and that you've been able to take people to?
Oh my goodness. I was so, thank God you didn't say like my bet, like the one place. I always struggle when people say the one place. I'm like,
Yeah.
Lord. A few of my favorite places within Europe, I really, really enjoy Eastern Europe. I always tell people, I think recently people have started to discover it. So you're talking Montenegro, Albania, Kosovo, those very hidden gems.
Mhm.
Affordable luxury is a thing over there. Um, you don't need to search too much for cultural immersion. It just slaps you in the face because it's like very undiluted, not so touristic. So I do love a good Eastern Europe trip. Um, where else? What else do I like? Within Africa itself, a few highlights. Zanzibar, that's one of our signature destination, and for Oremi too as well. Zanzibar, I love it because it's just so rich in culture and beautiful. I personally think I might be biased, but I personally think it's better than honeymoon destinations. It's great. I know people love the Maldives for their honeymoon, but I say change it to Zanzibar. There's just so much more to the you got the beach, you got the culture, you got the people, you got the food, you got the vibrancy. Like I tell people, I've never seen sand so white and water so blue. Like it's just
Oh wow.
incredible. So Zanzibar is a place I always recommend for people. um then I really, 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 I did a road trip, a solo drive, about 44,000 kilometers across Namibia. Again, incredible. It feels like you're driving on the moon. Such I said, oh, wow. I raised wow out of my vocabulary. Like I just kept saying wow, wow, wow. It was absolutely stunning. Where else? Where else have I fallen in love with? Western Africa too as well is nice. Nigeria, shout out to where I'm from. If you want good food, good cuisine, check out Nigeria. Good music, good vibe. Ghana is lit too as well. I know Ghana is becoming a hot spot. A lot of people are discovering that from Afro Nation and the rest. Um, so, and then where else? I'm based in Dubai. Dubai is a hot place right now. Another package deal that we offer is to Dubai. People wants to come. I love Dubai because it just has that spirit of excellence. You get the
Mhm.
highest building, the deepest, submarine dive, the widest sand, like everything. They just inspire to be the best, which is just some people can see it as what's the word? My English is failing me right now. Some people can see it's quite materialistic and stuff, but I feel there's more depth to it, and there's all
Mhm.
Dubai, and all of that good stuff. But there's just so many destinations. I can go on and on and on.
Yeah, I know it's such a hard question because every place is different. They're
It's
all
so
great in their own way.
all great in their own way. And I always tell people my experience always can be different from your experience. And it depends on who you go to with, the company you have right there, the people you meet, the experience you get to have. So, and I never say, oh, because I've been to one country, I've seen it all. Especially most time because you go to the capital, if I go to
Mhm.
Nigeria, go to Lagos, it's different from when you go to Abuja or to, Jos up north. Like even different region within the country gives it a different vibe. So
Mhm.
yeah, there's just so much to see.
Yeah, yeah. I know. Has your list gotten any shorter of places you want to
No,
go, or keep
dude.
getting
You gets longer every single day. I'm just like, oh,
Uh-huh.
here we go again.
Uh-huh.
But I would definitely love to check out Japan. Japan is high on my list. I'm obsessed with the Japanese culture. At one point, my brand was called Kintsugi, to mend with gold. But yeah, there's just always a new place to add. Always a new place to add.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Japan is definitely one that's high on my list as well. It
Yeah.
just it looks like such a beautiful country and so unique.
Yeah, I think culturally is amazing. Food, I hear great stuff about it. Just yeah, I just can't wait. It has to happen soon. I don't know when, but it's gonna happen.
Yeah. So what's it been like, you know, you have quite a bit of followers on Instagram. What's it been like kind of becoming this, icon for travel?
It wasn't my intention. I genuinely was that girl that just wanted to document a travel. I think the destination which I chose to travel to in my early days, sparked a lot of conversation and curiosity. Especially, I always tell people I have, three major disadvantage or whatever you want to look at it. The first, me traveling as a female. That sparks conversation about safety, about affordability. How are you able to have this trip and blah blah blah. And then as a black female, that is another layering. And going to these places where
Mhm.
people might consider it racist and compare it to all of that and the issues we face. So that again, led to people just being curious, like, how are you doing it? And then mostly solo. So I was traveling as a black female solo traveler, and it's like a triple whammy. It's like, what? So I think that led to a lot of curiosity. And I always say this thing, like, sometimes you don't realize you're doing brave things until people point out that you're doing brave things. And I genuinely was just going to these places out of curiosity. And sometimes it's great to be naive. I tell people, people look at naivety as this very disastrous thing, or this very, scary thing. But sometimes, if I knew in hindsight, I may not have gone to some places just because of the fear, or but I genuinely was just going to Skyscanner, going to everywhere and searching for the cheapest flight. That's how naive I was,
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think it's a now it's almost like a life vision or a life, mission to teach people and to show people that traveling can be easy, safe, and doable. So I share a lot of travel hacks, a lot of money management tips, a lot of destination guides, just anything that could stop people. And honestly, travel is the way in which I express that impossible is just a word, and you can do whatever you want to do. And honestly, the bigger vision is honestly giving people the permission to to relentlessly pursue the thing that they care about. And for me, it's travel. For other people, it might be a hobby, a talent, a skill, something they want to learn. And it's just like, if Pelumi can go to that place, I can do this hard stuff. Pelumi
Mhm.
can, do this crazy adventure. Maybe I can take this brave step and do this one thing I've always wanted to do. So honestly, I just hope to inspire people by just living my own truth and being genuine and say, guys, I'm maybe a bit nervous, especially post pandemic. I had travel anxiety, you know, and I was very honest about this. And I'm like, it's okay if you feel the fear. It's what you do with
Mhm.
that. Do you push past it, or do you just sit there, in it? Um, so yeah, it has grown to an amazing community. They're the most supporting people ever, and they cheer me on, and that's led to brand collaboration and bigger things I never saw coming. But it took that one step, that one flight, that one train ride. Um, and yeah, it just kind of snowballed to what it is right now.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, it's very inspiring. I gotta say, it definitely inspires me to push myself further too.
Hmm.
And for all the listeners as well.
You're
Um,
doing amazing. Like I'm so I'm so cheering you on, and I love the conversation and dialogues you have. And I think it's so important to have this story. I tell people one of our greatest assets is our stories, and you just being able to allow people to share their adventures and share their stories on this platform. Like, thanks for this, man.
yeah, well, that that really was the whole point of this, because as I've traveled over the years, I began to really see that, hey, yes, it might be a little bit scary at first, but there's so much amazing things to see out here, and most people around the world, they're super friendly and nice and welcoming, and I wanted to be surrounded by people like you who are going out there and pushing themselves and inspiring others, and I wanted to give a platform for people to share, to share their stories and show people that you can go do it, whatever your passion is, whether it is traveling or not. You
Hmm.
can,
Hmm.
if you set your mind to it, you can do it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Um, I do have to ask, as a Black female solo traveler, did
Hmm.
you have you had any issues traveling?
Yeah, obviously, that's unavoidable. I think two things. I think the mindset and the what's the word? And the energy in which you go into places are quite important. I think a lot
Mhm.
of people, don't give destination a chance. I think they go in there with so much fear and so much um preempted, like they feel scared of the place, and
Mhm.
when one bad incident occurs, it ruins their whole stay. And so I give you an example. This place you already have in your mind that, oh my God, they hate me, they don't want me in their country, they're racist, blah 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 blah, and it's piled up. And then going through passport security, and the person's like, move to this queue or go somewhere else, and straight away they're like, oh my God, here we go, he affirms everything, and then the whole place is racist. So I'm not I'm not discounting the racist encounter people face, or
Mhm.
the bad treatment that people might face, but I feel like how we go into spaces, I could just categorize that this is having a bad day. Got nothing to do with me. Got nothing to do with the way I look. Got not the way I am. Is genuinely this person. And sometimes it could be that. Sometimes it could not be that. But if it gives me inner peace and it gives me a sense of, belonging and just not harboring any hate, then I'll rather lean towards that. I've been called racial slang. I've been, told that a restaurant is filled up and they have no seats, and literally few minutes later someone else come in and they're sitting all of a sudden, so those kind of things have happened to me. And you could just see clear, difference in treatments in the hotel stay, and asking, and who are you with, and we're just like, I'm alone. Does that mean I can't get served? So yeah, I think there's definitely situation that's cropped up, but I'll say, of if you were to put it in like a 99 in a 100% percentile of all my travel experience, it does even make up to 1%. So
Mhm.
you know what is that? I'll take the experiences, I will take the travel memories, you know, or if even if it's tainted by that 1%, it's
Yeah.
just so much of a value add to life. So yeah, to answer your question, bad things does happen, but in the greater scheme of things, I I won't give up traveling because of the bad things that have happened, if that makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, totally. I mean, you can't, nothing's going to be perfect 100% of the time.
Absolutely.
And so, you can't not live your life just because there is that 1% chance that something bad might happen.
Exactly.
Uh, I love that. That's really, again, really inspiring to me. What's been some of your favorite experiences that you've had traveling? Some
Oh my
moments that stand out.
goodness.
Another hard question for you.
Another hard question. You're good with hard questions. Let me think. Let me think. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, so very, 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 very recently, we're talking just a few weeks ago, I did a road trip from London to Lake Como. So I drove my Peugeot 1.107 small engine, and everybody was like, "This car is gonna die on the way." What do you mean? Take a flight, Pelumi. And I'm like, what's the point? I want to be able to drive this damn thing. So I stuck it on a ferry, crossed into France, drove through Luxembourg, drove through what's it called? Belgium and Switzerland, and made it all the way to Lake Como. The car was falling apart, so they were definitely not wrong, but it made it there. So that was exciting. I always love Switzerland. That's another place that made me
Hmm.
fall in love with the world. Like it's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
Um yeah, so definitely that was exciting. And I drove back and yeah, the car is okay, guys. The car is fine. Um um I think I do love a good road trip. There's something about road trips that I do enjoy. I love flying, but I think the next thing I love is road trip after that. Um then I remember Namibia camping in Susuvle, if I'm right, under the stars. And I remember just crying. I don't know, like it was just, it's don't know, it's just filled with emotions. Like there was no light pollution, so the stars were like 4D, HD,
Yeah.
4D. You know, you're just like, how is this place so beautiful?
Uh-huh.
Like, it was incredible, beautiful, beautiful moment. Um, Safari in Kenya and seeing the lion up close, like. I just started crying. I cry a lot. I'm a crier, by the way. Like, and I just remember just busting out in tears, like, oh my God, I've seen this animal so many times and like on TV, but to see it in person and just feels
Mhm.
like a hunt, and it was just like insane.
Yeah.
Um, wow, so many memories. I'm just like, I feel like I'll be that, that saying, travel leave you speechless and then turn you to a storyteller. Like I'm waiting to be like a grandma, like call all my grandkids and I'm like, what country should we speak about today?
Yeah.
um but yeah, incredible. Australia, that was incredible. Like I'm just like, if I want to change my life, that's where I'll go to. It's just so far away from everybody. I feel like they live in a different world over there. um but yeah, just so many highlights. Like I'm literally bubbling just thinking about that. um, but yeah, this is something you cannot put a price on. These are memories you just can't take away from me. These are priceless moments. And that's the joy of travel, to have these experiences that just leaves you in awe, leaves you in awe.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's so many moments with travel where, like you said, you are speechless or in awe. You're
Mm-hmm.
just like, I can't believe that I'm here right now, seeing
Pinch me,
this.
please.
Yeah. Uh, is there any like I know for me personally, I always love to get like a postcard or a magnet from a place that I've been to. Do you have any sort of like thing like that that you try to do in every country you go
So
to?
I live a minimalistic lifestyle. I think traveling has had to teach me that. In my early days, actually, India that we spoke about. When I went to India, I came back with a full suitcase full of leather books and paintings and leather bag and a Sarah. I can't remember what their traditional outfit is called. Hold on, I'm trying to
Oh,
Indian traditional outfit.
yeah. Uh-huh.
um um and I convinced myself I was going to wear it to like a friend's wedding, and it's never made it out of the suitcase for like 2 years. I didn't open the suitcase. So I made myself a promise that, you know what, I can't keep coming home with a full suitcase for each country I go to. So I
Hmm.
strictly on one item, one for me, one for my mom. So try right now when I travel, I try to buy something I would certainly use small in items. So usually it's jewelry, so like rings or earrings
Hmm.
that just reminds me of the place. But for my mom, she's a big fridge magnet um keeper or like collector. So I get a fridge magnet for my mom and I get something small. Small is the key word for me. Even though when I went to Morocco, I wanted to buy a lamp. I'm like, no, Pelumi, you cannot bring a lamp home.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. Everything looks amazing, but
Mhm.
you gotta be smart and realistic that, hey,
It's just
I don't have
realistic.
room for this.
Or you're just gonna be a holder. You're just gonna see your house filled with stuff, which is
Yeah.
great, but no, no, thank you. I don't need that.
Yeah. Um, I'm curious, what advice would you give to someone who's, trying to maybe get some of those like hotel collaborations or brand deals or start their own travel business?
That is a good question. So I actually created a course called Permission to Pitch. Funny enough, I'm thinking of rebranding it to launch before Q4, which is when brands have like a open budget for Christmas and the festive period and all of that good stuff. And it came from me, working with brand. I just know I remember, before we all had links and the swipe up was the thing.
Hmm.
Um, it was kind of like what's the word? My mind just went blank. So it was kind of you needed 10K followers. You need this high, you need this large following. And that is not true. That is a myth. I think now people are realizing UGC content and stuff like that. You don't even need any following. You just need to be good at creating content. You need to be able to film something. You need to be able to showcase a product or add a review or share something. And I'll say three major tips. There'll probably be more than three, but three are the ones I'll share. The first is create content that brands can see themselves in. A lot of people feel like I will get the brand deal, then create the content. No, you want to work with hotels. When you travel, create a content showcasing the hotel you stayed in. So that
Hmm.
way, if I do it for Hilton, Marriott can come and see I've done this content. They can see the engagement. They can see what people are asking about. They can see the quality of it, all of that stuff. So create the content already. Create that portfolio that you can use to pitch to the brand. So a lot of content creators missing that. They're trying to do the egg and the chicken situation, but always serve first. The second thing is the quality of your content. I think you shoot with. I always tell people the equipment you have is the best equipment to use, but if you can elevate that equipment, then great. So I started working with a videographer, and that extrapolated the quality of my content, and brands could see that this person is serious about their business, you know.
Hmm.
And finally, see yourself as a business as a brand. You are the videographer, photographer, makeup artist, location, destination. It's a lot of work.
Hmm.
So take yourself seriously, um, post consistently. Now I'm shouting at myself, post consistently. Um, and people will say, oh, should I post every single day? And a friend said this recently. You don't see a business owner, you don't see your local shopkeeper saying, do I need to open my shop every single day? It's like
That's a good
you
analogy.
want customer or not,
Yeah.
it's only in this constant content creator world you hear this debate of how often do you want to open your shop, how often do you want people to know about you, how often do you want brand awareness and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll say those three. I'll keep on going, but yeah, just putting yourself out there. And yeah, over time, pitch, you get a lot of no's. A lot of people hear no and they're like, oh my god, the world is coming to an end. You will
Yeah.
not die from a no. It's just a no. And most time it's not even no. Because I always ask, like, is it no, not right now? Or no, never? And sometimes it's
Mhm.
like, no, not right now. We don't just have the budget, or, this script doesn't suit us. And you can tweak that. You can change that no to a yes. Um, yeah, but some people are just scared to get the no in the first place. But yeah, I could keep going on. This is like a whole podcast.
Yeah. No, those are great great pieces of advice. Yeah, and I'm sure you do have a lot that you could a lot more that you could share. But that's why people should come to you and use the resources that you offer to learn more.
Yes, more than happy.
Um, well, any other travel stories that you want to share, or tips or tricks, advice?
Um, for people that want to start, people always ask, where do I start from? How do I start? I say just start locally, you know, start with your neighbor. I think people feel travel, you have to go to the other side of the world before you've traveled. And that's not what travel is about. Travel is just stepping out of your comfort zone. Travel is just trying something new. Travel is just experiencing something different. So it could be your neighboring city, it could be, an hour flight away. It could just be trying a new activity within your country, your own city, you know. And when it comes to solo, people say, "How do you do it?" And I'm like, again, get comfortable with yourself. Solo traveling, most people have resistance because they just are not comfortable with their own self. They feel nervous or scared, whatever. Um, and all of that is valid, 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 valid. But the more practice is a muscle.
Mhm.
So go on solo dates, take yourself out to dinner by yourself, go to the movies by yourself, just spend more time with yourself, and over time you get to know, oh, I like this, oh, I like that, oh, I don't like this. And that will ease if you've done solo travel, or if you've done solo activity within your familiar city, then it becomes easier when you do it in a foreign place.
Yeah.
um but yeah, just go out, explore, do the scary stuff, everything you want. That saying, everything you want is on the other side of fear. It's true, guys. See?
Mhm.
um but yeah, and I just want to thank everyone for listening, man. I always tell people, time is you could be anywhere doing anything, but you chose to listen to this podcast episode. So for that, I'm super grateful. Because yeah, time is one of the most, if not anything, the most valuable resource you can give to another person or another thing. So for you to be able to do
Mhm.
that, I'm grateful.
Yeah, yeah. Well, me as well. I'm grateful that you took the time to share today as well, Pelumi. Where can people find you on Instagram and
Oh,
all that?
Instagram, I am known as Pelumi Nubi. That's Pelumi, full stop, Nubi, Nubi. So that's my handle on Instagram. You can find me on email, hello@peluminubi.com. If you're on Threads, that's the new Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm also there as Pelumi Nubi, always ranting about something to do with travel. Um, but yeah, my DMs are wide open, my emails are wide open. If anyone has any question about, planning their next trip, and they need help with that, I can do that. Or any question. If you just want to say hi, I'm more than happy to chat with you.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's always great just meeting other travelers, whether you're asking questions or not. It's always just great to connect.
It's always a pleasure.
Yeah. Well, Plumi, thank you so much. I really enjoyed the conversation today, and we'll definitely have you back on once you have been to 77 more countries, or 78 more countries.
Alrighty, I'll
Um,
hold you to that.
yeah. Yeah, no, a lot of fun, and I'm really inspired by you and your travels and what you've done and created for yourself and for others. And can't wait to see you somewhere around the world soon.
Likewise. Thank you so, so much for having me.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll talk soon.
Absolutely. Thank you. Take care.
Yep. Bye.
Bye bye.
Hey everybody, Kyle here. If you enjoyed today's show and want more, you can always check out every episode on Spotify, Anchor, YouTube, and now Amazon Music as well. Just search for Our Travel Experiences on any of those platforms and it will pop up. You can also find everything all in one place on my website, ourtravelexp.com. And if you want to see my travel pictures as well as travel pictures from guests on the show, you can check them out on Instagram. The page is called Our Travel Experiences Podcast. And if you want to share your own pictures on the Instagram page or be a guest on the podcast, you can message me via that Instagram page or email me at ourtravelexperiences@outlook.com. I would love to see your pictures and hear about your travel experiences, so please send them my way. And if that isn't enough for you, make sure to check out my weekly YouTube show, From Around the World Fridays. Every Friday, I'm taking 5 to 10 minutes to answer questions from listeners, share some souvenirs that I bought over the years, share my postcards over the years that I've accumulated, or share videos and pictures from one particular city or country that I visited, and so much more. So check it out, guys. You won't be disappointed. And make sure you go subscribe to that as well. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you somewhere around the world soon.